Hello. I am here to break down the mechanics and the components of Bakāsana, crow pose, in its two forms, which is high crow, the crow that we have all come to know and some of us love, and then the low crow. So grab a couple bricks just in case. And begin in a hero pose. So roll the calf flesh open, sit the hips in between the heels. Feel free to sit on a brick if need be. Palms down. And breathing in through the nose and out through the mouth. Rising your attention and energy and allowing it to fall, finding your roots. In your mind's eye, visualize you balancing on your hands, bringing your knees into your armpits and lifting both of your feet off the ground and holding it with a sense of flight, confidence, and empowerment. Take a full breath in and a full breath out. And you can open your eyes. So for me, crow, when I started yoga in 2004, crow was very scary. I hadn't believed in myself a lot up until that point, nor thinking of myself as strong or even capable of bringing my weight into my hands. And so crow, in my experience, is the first arm balance where you're starting to bring all of your weight into your hands. It's like the beginning journey of weight shifting into hands, using your core and trusting this rising lift that is upwards from the pelvic floor, the vital life force energy moving from the pelvic floor into the navel, which is the abdominal locks or bandhas. So coming into a garland position, bring your big toes together and try to keep your big toes together and let your knees separate. So first we'll try high crow, which is the most common form of getting into crow, with the brick on its high end. So I bring the brick to the front edge of my mat. You want it a good distance. So say the distance from my toes to my wrists is anywhere in between 8 to 16 inches. You want about that same distance from your fingers to the brick. Now, you need this distance so you can shift the weight forward. It's called a tilting point in arm balances. It's when the weight is forward enough that the feet will rise. Now, a sense of confidence, competence in the mechanics, the technique of the posture has to be there, but then confidence that you can support yourself. And some days are better than others. Some days you will support yourself, and some days it'll be a lot harder. You'll feel heavier. In my experience, once you get a posture, it will become easier over time through practice, okay? So spread the fingers, turn the index fingers out. Rise the hips up with straight arms. Keep the big toes together for high crow. Bring knees into armpits. So if you see here, I'm doing one knee at a time, lifting my tailbone up. When I do this, my elbows bend slightly. And I'm trying to get my knees as high up into the armpits as possible with my elbows bent. I'm gonna scoot in a little. And once the knees are into the armpits, I hug the knees in, and I'm gonna shift my bricks a little far forward. I can tell because I can't touch it.
So the brow line, that place of my forehead where it meets my hairline, is going to touch the brick. And then I'm going to push into my hands, claw the earth, lift both the feet up. Then think about straightening the arms, heels to bottom, spread the toes, toes and heels together. So release, and you can come into forward fold, wide forward fold. And so the brick is just a stopper to help you feel supported in this shape if fear is present, okay? Now, maybe it's really difficult for you to get your knees into your armpits, so then you can stand on the brick like a perch, toes together, squat. And this might assist you in getting the knees up. Okay. So I have the flexibility in my hips, so I can get my knees into my armpits in this squat, but you might have to lift your hips in order to do that, and you might still feel like you can't do it yet. So see how I'm bending my elbows to get my knees down, then when I shift, heel to butt, heel to butt. Just practice that. See if you can bring both heels up, just bring them right back down. And so the idea is once you shift forward, you want to think of this upward motion. So back rounds to the sky, knees hug into the armpits. There's this breath and energy moving from the pelvic floor to the core, and the spine is rounded all the way up into the upper back as well. And this is what we call high crow. It has all those components of rounded spine, knee into armpits, and arms moving to more of a straighter position is what we call crane position. And you just practice lifting one toe at a time, animating that heel to sitting bone, buns up, feet to tail feather. Think about straightening the arms and keeping the spine super, super rounded. Come into a forward fold, interlace hands behind your back for chest expansion. Let your head weight drop and breathe here. Shake the head out. Feel the wrists open. Inhale. Exhale, release. Good. And come back to a squat. Now, the low crow is going to feel a little bit more like your inner thighs are opening, your adductors, the inner groins, and the muscles of the inner thighs are opening almost in like a Bakāsana shape, soles of feet together, knees open. This is a little exaggerated. And your heart is going to move forward so the spine lengthens, and instead of your buns rising and the heels coming to buns or sitting bones, your buns are going to drop, and you want to try to keep your big toes and your heels together. So the weight shift might not seem as drastic, but the position of where your legs are on your arms is a little different. So instead of knee, this right under the patella, there's this indentation of the knee going into the armpit, as in high crow. It's going to be about below the knee, shin bone, into the tricep. So that flesh, muscular flesh from elbow to shoulder, okay? So we still start in this garland shape, big toes together, knees open. And now your hands open to shoulder width apart. Now lift the buns. And when you separate your knees, bend your elbows out to the side and get below the knee, right above the elbow. And now when I shift forward, I'm going to start to hug the elbows in and straighten them. And when I lift the feet, hips come to heels, thighs open, heart forward. Breathe. Spread the toes. Low crow. Okay. And you can play with the same idea with the brick being a perch. And maybe when you stand on the perch, you can practice lifting one foot at a time, just getting that feeling of how the inner arches lift the pelvic floor. So elbows out and straighten a little. Okay, then bend elbows out. Bottom of knee to tricep, shift, heel to butt, butt to heel, switch, heel to butt, butt to heel. Big toes, inner heels together. Heart lengthens forward, animate the toes. And it might just feel more supportive when your feet don't have as far to lift, right? Now, when I looked at myself, high crow and low crow look very similar. But let me see if I can try to show you what it would look like high crow, low crow, going in and out of it, which is also called like a crow push-up, which you could play in your practice as well. High crow, low crow, heart forward. High crow, hug the inner thighs. Low crow. And that's good for me. Come into Malasana, open your feet as wide as your mat and interlace hands. Woo. Rotate wrists. Take a full breath in and a full breath out. Shake a little. I'd love to hear if this worked for you or what you found in the process. Is there any roadblocks that you came up against that you're questioning? Please let me know in the comments, and I'm more than happy to help. So I close my practices a little different than most. So first, in the Anjali Mudra, we'll bring thumbs in between the eyebrows, and we'll say the mantra, Jai Bhagavan. It's thy will be done. This exclamation of the will of life, of your highest self or divinity, spirit, moving through you, so you can surrender to it. And then Eagle Mudra, we cross the thumbs, palms shine at the heart, and we place the hands on the heart. Bow your head, close your eyes, feel that. And then we say a phrase that I made up, it's my business name. We say, Jai Yo Flow, which Jai, praise, victory, hallelujah, to Yo Flow, which is your practice, your life. Thank you so much. All right. Bye.